So I was going to make this video just for the agents that I'm mentoring, but I wanted to do this publicly and I had to block a lot of the information just because this is an actual agent's information that's being used to scam people with one difference. But I'm going to show you all the red flags because I found 6 red flags in this email that I received. What we're seeing a lot of right now is vacant properties or vacant lots of land that are being scammed, trying to be sold or purchased, where the homeowner or the property owner is not actually trying to sell the property. So let me see if I can zoom in a little. So the first thing in this email that I received, I noticed the misspelling of referral. Well, this email's coming from supposedly another agent. Referral should be commonly used language for them every day of the week. So that's not a word that should be misspelled for an agent-to-agent conversation or an email. On top of that, I noticed in their sign-off, they said thank you, then had all of their contact information. And again, I'm protecting the agent because honestly, all of the information is the real agent's information, except for right at the end of their email address, it said .net. Now that is an uncommon contact information to have a .net. So when somebody say uses their name or their company name, it's usually going to end in a .com. Because that's your most standard ending for a website is going to be a .com. Now for agents, for realtors, it could be a .realtor, it could be a .biz maybe, but .net really isn't commonly used. So that was a red flag for me. And then I noticed there were 2 actual sign-offs. So they said thank you and had their information, and then there was another best regards with the date. That's not common either to have 2 sign-offs. So that was an error on the scammer's part. Oh, and on top of that, dear, instead of having just my name, they had my email address. No one's going to address an email to dear, so-and-so at so-and-so.com. They're not going to, you're at gmail.com. Like, they're not going to use an email address as the dear person. They're going to use the person's first name, another red flag. So that's 4 in a row right there. Misspelling of referral, using the email address to address the email to, a .net, and then 2 sign-offs. There's 4 red flags right there. Another big red flag for me was the spelling of neighborhood. Now, technically that's not incorrect, but 98% of the United States does not spell it with an O-U-R. They spell it with an O-R. That's actually the spelling they use in the UK or Australia. Now, you'll see I made a lot of notes on this. I'm using this for the agents that I mentor to help them look out for these scams because I just found out a local agent who's actually been in the business for 2 or 3 years just fell for this same kind of scam, listed a property, just took a deposit from a buyer. They don't have an actual listing with the actual owner of the property. So they have to give that money back, cancel the contracts. I don't know if there's any way they can trace the scammer. So again, this is just me trying to help make sure my agents understand. Another thing that I double checked was looking up the actual agent. And so this blue box down here, I looked up the actual agent, and sure enough, all of the information was exact except for the email address for them ended with .com versus the .net that came in that email. Now, they did use the agent's actual cell phone number, but traditionally when somebody reaches out with you by email, you're going to write back to the email, hey, that's great, I'd love to accept a referral, when can we talk, can we set up a time, send your referral form, or what's the percentage you're looking for. So a lot of times, once they send that over, they very possibly could have said, oh, by the way, I've got a new cell phone number, call me here if you need to talk to me. So then the conversation does start, but it starts with a different phone number at that point. So at first, when I go to verify this agent, it all looks pretty legit, except for these other random red flags. So for any homeowners out there or anybody who owns vacant land or a property they've been leaving vacant, make sure the town has your up-to-date information, make sure the fire department has your up-to-date information, contact phone numbers, just so that at least there's some resources that if an agent is trying to get a hold of who owns the land, has a way to get a hold of you, especially if you're not someone on social media. Sometimes it is easier for us to try to look people up, find out who owns the land, try to look them up on social media, connect to them that way through like Messenger. If you're not someone that uses a lot of social media, or puts your actual contact information out on social media, we can have a hard time tracking you down, and somebody can be trying to buy your land and someone else is walking away with the money, and then there's a lot of issues that can come up from that. So that is the latest that's been happening. Hope this helps. Please avoid those situations, agents. They're working on, in the state of New Hampshire right now, technically it's not legal to ask for a driver's license to be scanned and sent to you. If that's the case, try to get on a Zoom with the client, with the driver's license, with the identification, so you can at least see it visibly over a Zoom conversation. But it's actually passed the House of Representatives and is with the Senate, hopefully before the end of May. It will have passed that you will be allowed to ask for the identification. I think it's allowed to be asked for from other states, but it's not allowed for in the state of New Hampshire to ask for those to be sent. So if you can, get them on a video chat, whatever method, they'll allow. If they don't, that's another red flag. Watch back.